Well, good evening. If you are watching this video, my hope is that you are a member of my class, and that class is, for the long name, SP17-IN-TCEM-H371-28559, or the easier way to go is Convention and Sales Services. So hopefully you're taking my class for the spring semester, 8 weeks. My name is Professor DeBras. And everything for our class is up now and live on Canvas. So all of our assignments are up there. All of the outlines will be up there for the chapters, as well as I'll be posting links to all of these lectures on there as well. So my contact information is on there as well. So telephone number, feel free to call me when you have needs. My email address is on there as well as feel free to text me also. For office hours, I actually work remote for the job I have. So if you do need to make an appointment with me, again, reach out to me by email, by phone, by text, and we can set an appointment on campus. I can come in and see you guys. So again, this class is basically your introduction to sales and convention services. A little background for me. Again, my name is JJ DeBras. I've been teaching this class for just about, I think, 5 years now. I teach a second class for sports marketing and sports management. I've been in the hospitality industry now just over 11 years. I work for General Hotel Corporations based here in Indianapolis. I'm a regional director of sales for the West region, which means I have 10 properties that I oversee and work with their sales teams to make them stronger, get them better at what they do, and obviously bring in more revenue. So married 21 years this August. 3 kids. My oldest son is Wilson. My youngest son is Riley. Then I have an angel baby named Catherine. And we'll hear more about her probably later in the class. We talk about a fundraiser that we do. That is my daughter, who unfortunately my wife and I lost to SIDS about 13 years ago. So you will hear her come up periodically as we talk about different things that we do within this industry. So other background, I'm a Butler alum. You'll see Butler stuff throughout these lectures. Usually it's under my shirts or on the walls behind me. But obviously very, very proud and very honored to teach at IUPUI. Love what you guys are doing as students and being involved in this industry. It's a growing industry. There's tons of opportunities there. And I'm encouraged by all of you who have taken this class if that's the path you're looking to take. So definitely some fantastic things going on in our world, in our industry, and we're going to talk a lot about that over the next 8 weeks. So what we're going to do, the format of this is we'll have a lecture posted every week, and it's going to cover the different chapters that we're talking about that week. Now, I typically try to go through these fairly quickly. This is not to be a detail by detail lecture. It's more of an overall theme, the things you guys should be looking at, things you should be following up on. Quick 20 minutes is what I'm always hoping to do per chapter, which may make some of them a little bit longer when we cover 3 chapters at one time, but at that point I try to get it down to about 10 minutes. So again, I do these so you guys have something to go back to. You can look at these. We'll talk about different things as well as far as assignments coming up. If there are any questions that have been asked of me that I want to get out to all of you guys, I can address them obviously during these lectures. So real quick, jumping right into everything, into chapter 1. Again, this is the introduction, meetings and trade show industry. I'm sorry, convention meetings and trade show industry. And this is a great chapter to kind of get you the start of being diving into our industry, if you will. So with the meetings industry and hospitality industry, you'll hear me refer to it as both. You know, there's a lot of new challenges and a lot of new changes going on. You're seeing tons more international meeting, as again, this has become a global industry. You're seeing meetings in some very unique places, everything from cruise ships to college campuses, just a lot of non-traditional places. And we'll touch on that as the semester goes along as well. You know, as technology has improved, you're seeing a lot more things introduced into our industry, and that is obviously everything from data collection at the meetings themselves, about meetings. Obviously, everything has gone mobile now, so you're going to see a ton of apps as well as the usage of your cell phone. I mean, I have seen some hotels that you can actually use your phone to check in, open your door, pay your bill, and then leave a comment, and you never talk to anybody at the front desk. It's absolutely amazing. So again, where we're going with technology now is truly unmarked territory for our industry, and every day it seems like we see something new, whether it's an app or a way to talk about your experience, reach out to staff. Again, it just continues to grow and grow and grow. So, and again, as we talked about, there are some fantastic job prospecting opportunities for you guys, whether it's in the sales side, whether it's on the service side. This industry just continues to grow, and there are new opportunities every day. So So as we get into this chapter, what we're going to talk about a little bit is the history of the meetings market. Now, as you go through your book, you're going to see a lot of different things in there, and a lot of it, I want to back up just a little bit. There's a ton of knowledge in this first chapter, and I really want you guys to know it because it's what we're going to build on as we discuss the rest of the book. So again, first chapter, like most things, kind of set the groundwork for us. So it's going to talk about changes in the industry, how we've gone from those Holiday Inn roadside hotels to the mega hotels that you see now. And you think Mandalay Bay in Vegas, you think the JW downtown Indianapolis, the W in Houston, Texas. San Francisco has a beautiful Intercontinental Hotel. So you'll see we span a huge amount of service levels to number of rooms to staff to what have you. So this industry, like I said, there's a lot of different things to jump into. So we've seen changes there, going from small properties to large ones to going back down to the boutique ones. So we try to fit everyone's niches, and we've got a number of brands who try to find those different niches and exploit them, obviously. So again, the other thing is the demographics of meetings have changed, and the book talks a great deal about this. Whereas at one time, probably in the early 60s, 70s, even in the early 80s, mostly men dominated. That is no longer the case. As a matter of fact, we've almost come full circle in that you'll see more women travelers now. That changes the way hotels and the hospitality industry has to position themselves as far as what's important to those attendees. And again, we're getting a number of mixed meetings where they're equal, male to female. Again, how do we go about servicing those clients? You go from the single to the married to families. Do families come along on these trips? So the book's going to do a nice job of touching on all the different, segments that we have to deal with within our industry. So, and when we look at the scope of today's meetings, we hold meetings for a variety of reasons. Some of them are association meetings where, we're coming together to discuss where the association is going. What are the best practices going on? Have laws changed? Are there new things that we have to know, that our members of the association have to know to go on into their particular industry and continue on and do things the right way? You'll see corporate meetings for a variety of reasons. It could be a change in policy. It could be new product launches. It could be an HR training tool that there's something that everybody has to know about. It could be an award ceremony. We've got certain people who have, whether it's from sales, whether it's in service side. So your types of meetings go across the board, and that's just two areas. When you talk about the SMERF market, and we'll get into this later, social, military, education, religious, fraternal, obviously all of those have different reasons for using of a hotel. Some are room nights only. Sports team coming into town and play a ball game. But at the same time, that team's probably going to need a meal. Therefore, they're going to need your ballroom space. So they're going to need your meeting space. You look at military, religious, education. Again, continuing their own education as far as educators go to what they're going to teach their classes. So we're seeing just such a variety of options right now. Again, it's always an exciting time in the meetings world because no day is ever the same. And that's one of the reasons why I really love being in this industry. So we're going to talk about types of meeting in the book, and there are a lot of them. And I really want you guys to go and dig deep and get to know these terminologies. And I'm going to just throw out a few of them for you. And the book talks about each one. You have conventions, forums, seminars, panels, conferences, symposiums, workshops, institutes, concerts, lectures, clinics, and retreats. And there's probably about 4 or 5 other ones that they keep coming up with yearly that means kind of the same thing. You guys do want to know what these terms mean. They vary sometimes amongst the segment you're talking about. So again, the book does a great job of breaking these down and giving you an outstanding explanation. So one of the things I want to point out at this point is in your book, and I've had the privilege of talking to our author, very wonderful guy, cares deeply about the industry, cares deeply about you guys as students, and that he's giving you the tools to learn our industry. 2 things that are going to be in the book. One's called More Online, and then you've also got what's called, my page got stuck, Internet Exercises, okay? These 2 segments, and they usually have 1 or 2, if not more, in every chapter. It allows you to go online and get real-world examples of the topics and the theories we're talking about. I cannot emphasize enough how important that would be for you guys to go online and look at these different links. It's going to bring things to life. It's going to explain these in a way that gives you a truer example, if you will. So again, highly encourage all of you to take advantage of these two elements that he's put into all the chapters, and make sure that you go through those web links. And again, it should give you a much better idea of what the theories we're talking about. So now we're going to talk in the book in this chapter 2 about who holds meetings. And I kind of touched on it before. Corporations obviously hold them. Associations hold meetings. Again, nonprofit organizations, and then the Smurf market. And once again, I kind of skipped over it real fast. Smurf is an acronym. That's not the little blue furry guy, or the little blue creatures. Smurf stands for, again, social, military, education, religious, and fraternal. That social sometimes can be sports as well. So those are the ones, those are the segments that we're going to look at that are going to have most of the meetings that we talk about. And again, all of these different segments have meetings for a variety of reasons, and we're going to touch on a number of them in this book. Now, the type of group customers that you could have. And when I say customers, I mean from the sales side, who you'll be dealing with when trying to book these groups, okay? The book will, the chapter lays this out, but you have 4 kind of distinct parties that you'll deal with. One is a full-time meeting planner, just what you think. That is their full-time job. They work for the company, and all they do is plan the meetings for said company or said association, maybe for a church, or it could be the military, what have you. But that is their only job. Then you have part-time planners who maybe are a single event planner. For instance, the administrative assistant for the marketing department at a company might plan 1 meeting a year. So it's a single event. It's not her or his main job, but they are the planner for that particular piece of business. Again, you're going to handle that person much differently than you're going to handle a full-time person. Then you have committees. I did not handle association markets in my I was in sales for about 10 and a half years, and I had actually corporate and sports. But one of my counterparts, Patty Overton, who did all of our associations, had to deal with a ton of committees. Probably without a doubt the hardest way to sell to in our industry, because a committee, and typically you saw them on associations, in some social projects, you'd have a committee that would book these meetings. Well, in some cases, the meeting was for 4 or 5 years out. So this committee would start the process, but they may not even be the ones that finish it. And on a committee, it's not like you have one decision maker which you're trying to focus on what's important to them, or what are they looking for in a hotel, and what kind of service they're looking for. You could have 4, 5, 6, 12 people on these committees, and you had to figure out how to sell to each one of them. So what I always thought was one of the absolute toughest situations was to sell to a committee. So, and guys, there we go. So, and then the last one is third-party planners. And you're going to hear me talk about Conference Direct, and Helms Briscoe. And what these are independent planners who work under the umbrella of those two companies. Basically, they will go to a company and say, we'll plan your meeting, we'll do all the legwork for you, you don't have to pay me a dime. They come to us. If we book the meeting with them, they get a 10% commission, usually based off of overnight rooms. So kind of our way of paying them, if you will, for bringing us that piece of business. That's how they make their money. So for a lot of companies who can't afford a full-time planner, this is a win-win. You get someone who obviously is professional, has experience, will do all the legwork for you, and then you're not paying them. You know, the hotel is actually going to pay them for bringing them the meeting. So again, we're going to hear a lot about that, and we're seeing a lot more companies, especially after the crash in 2008. I know we're getting kind of further away from that, so something, obviously a lot of things are coming back. But when the economy went down around 2008, 2009, that was a huge boom for the third parties, because a lot of companies realized that there was no ROI with an event planner in-house. And for those of you who don't know what ROI is, return on investment. In other words, if I'm paying this event planner, I'm not getting any revenue back. Now, what they do, setting up that meeting, training our sales team, who are stronger than make more sales. Yes, a roundabout way you can say there's an ROI to having them, but for the most part, there was not a direct tie. What they found was with these third parties, they didn't have to pay anything and could still have the same effect that in-house planner had. So we started to see them go away from that and see more of your third parties. But like I said, some companies still do have those in-house planners. So what type of meeting facilities are we going to talk about? Well, I touched on it just a little bit with the non-traditional ones, but you're going to have so many different types of hotels. You've got your all-suite hotels, your boutique hotels. You've got your conference centers. Again, your JW Marriott's, your Crown Plazas downtown, the Omni. the Hilton, the Hyatt, those huge box hotels, if you will. We might talk a little bit about select service. These are hotels that will do more with overnight rooms and room blocks and transient business travelers, as opposed to your bigger meetings. And then again, we'll talk about those non-traditional locations like cruise ships, colleges, those kind of things. So, we touched on just a little bit, but the trends in our meeting industry, things change all the time. The increase of technology continues to be something that is constantly changing in our industry. The demographics, you guys know, I believe you're still part of the millennial generation. I don't think they've renamed you guys yet. So, but that generation is going to be handled very differently than, say, my generation. We were just on the cutting edge of all the technology that was coming out, from laptops to cell phones to all the other stuff. Whereas you guys now, your interaction and your dependency upon technology is unbelievable. And our industry has to change accordingly to how we sell to you, to how we message ourselves to you guys. So again, that's going to be changing. The contract negotiations have probably become a little bit more complex, a little bit more on both sides, where we try to protect the hotel, the client tries to protect themselves, so we get the best win-win situation. No longer a handshake and in my word, if you will. We already talked about it once, third-party planners coming in and being highly involved, either from A to Z. In other words, they will find the location, they'll put the bids out, they'll sign the contract, and then they'll plan the whole thing. Or it could just be they source it all, give the client 3 different options, the client picks one of the options, they let the hotel know, and they get out of the way. And the client comes in and they do all the planning. There's a variety of ways we'll see the third-party planner used. We're seeing a lot of outside-the-box thinking when it comes to meetings. And we talk about wellness. Wellness from, I'm going to divide this up in a few different ways. So, from what groups are eating, from adding an element of, exercise into it. Everything from obviously green meetings to, being socially active. We've seen a number of meetings that will have a workout involved with the meeting, a healthy choice meals, if you will. They'll have a social element where part of their meeting, if it's 3 or 4 days, part of that might be going to Habitat for Humanity and building houses for a day and a half. It could be packing lunches for needy or disadvantaged kids. So we're seeing a lot of changes. It's not just a ballroom, AV, and an overnight room. We as the hotel are having to really spider out our resources to make sure we can bring different elements to the table that's important to our clients. So that is one thing. No longer is it a narrow focus, if you will, for our industry. It truly is a broadband look at things, and we have to be well versed in a lot of different topics that sometimes you would look at a hotel and think, why would you need to know that? It's not for the hotel, it's for the clients we're trying to get in. So that is a quick synopsis of Chapter 1 and my welcome. Guys, I look forward to talking to you guys throughout the 8 weeks. I say this every lecture, and I'll say it in the first one. If you need to reach me, please do not hesitate to call, to text, to email. I do check it every day. If you're feeling lost about something, if you just don't get something, call me, please reach out to me. This is our one chance to kind of interact, and it's not the best way. I'd rather be in the classroom with you guys, but I know this is the best for a lot of you who are doing part-time jobs or full-time jobs and have families and everything else. So again, do not be afraid to reach out to me. Best of luck with this year. Enjoy Chapter 1, and I'll talk to you guys next week.